Dear students, this is a bar magnet. You know that when a bar magnet is freely suspended, it always comes to rest along north and south direction. Now you see, the pole pointing towards the north, it is called as north pole. And the pole pointing towards the south, it is called as south pole. Now the question is, why the bar magnet always comes to rest along north and south direction? What is the reason? Just you think over this. Why a freely suspended bar magnet is always comes to rest along north and south direction? What is the reason for that? Pause for a moment. Well, so what you are thinking, it is correct. It is because of Earth's magnetic field. You know, Earth behaves like a magnet. What is the reason for Earth's magnetic field? Why always bar magnet comes to rest along north and south direction? For these questions, we are going to get the answer now. We are studying about the concepts magnetism and matter. So in this, the very interesting thing is, we are studying about Earth's magnetism. We are studying about Earth's magnetism. That is, when a bar magnet is freely suspended, it always comes to rest along north and south direction. It is because of Earth's magnetic field. To determine the Earth's magnetic field at a place, or to describe Earth's magnetic field at a place, we are using three physical quantities, and these are called as Earth magnetic elements. The three Earth magnetic elements what we are using, they are: first one, declination; second one, dip; third one, horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field. So by using these three, very easily we can determine Earth's magnetic field. We can understand Earth's magnetism. I repeat, first one, declination. So it is indicated by D. Dip or inclination, it is indicated by I. The third one is horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. We are going to call it as He. So by using these three, very easily we can understand Earth's magnetic field. Therefore, these three are called as Earth's magnetic elements. Now let's understand what is declination. You know, our Earth, it is rotating about the two poles. So this, what I am writing the pole, it is called as geographic north, NG. This is geographic south, SG. So no doubt about this axis, it is rotating. You just observe, this is the geographic axis. Well, now we have to study about geographic meridian. Geographic meridian. Geographic meridian. So this here, about this axis, you consider a circle. That is, a longitude circle containing geographic north pole and geographic south pole is called as geographic meridian. How actually it is? Now, very easily you can imagine a circle like this. Look here, you have to imagine a circle of Earth. This is called longitude circle containing geographic axis or geographic north pole and geographic south pole. It is called as, what I am writing in red color, so this is called as geographic meridian. So therefore, the definition of geographic meridian, it is very interesting. That is, a longitude circle containing geographic north and geographic south is called geographic meridian. Okay, for a moment I will rub the equator. This is equator. For a moment now it is not necessary. Now, so there is a, you just consider Earth's magnetic field. It is found that the Earth's magnetic field, that is magnetic north, I am going to call it as NM. And here there is magnetic south, I am going to call it as SM. The magnetic north and magnetic south, they are actually not coinciding with the geographic north and geographic south. You just imagine a line, you just observe a line here. What I am drawing this line passing through the, so there is a magnetic north and a magnetic south, or a vertical plane passing through the freely suspended north and south pole of a bar magnet is called as magnetic meridian. Now I am going to call it as magnetic meridian. So a vertical plane passing through the magnetic north and magnetic south at a given place is also called as magnetic meridian. Well, so now I repeat, magnetic meridian. Magnetic meridian means a line passing through the magnetic north and magnetic south at a given place is called magnetic meridian, or a vertical plane passing through the magnetic north and magnetic south at a given place is called as magnetic meridian. Geographic meridian. So a longitude circle containing geographic north and geographic south is called as a geographic meridian. Here you can see red color, it is called geographic meridian. The next thing is the angle between these two at a place. You please remember, it is at a place. The angle between these two at a place, it is called as declination. And the declination, it is indicated by D. So therefore here we can call this as declination D. So the angle between geographic meridian or magnetic meridian at a given place is called as declination. It is D, indicated by D. The angle between the geographic meridian and the magnetic meridian at a given place, it is called as a declination. So it is indicated by D. So usually, so D, it is a declination here. But at a given place, declination varies from point to point. So therefore, you consider compass needle. When a compass needle is freely pivoted, it makes the north pole of the compass needle makes at an angle with geographic north. The angle made by the north pole of the compass needle with the true north is also called as a declination. So this is a textbook definition, very interesting. I repeat. So this is the geographic north, and this is the north shown by the compass needle. You just observe the angle made by the north pole of the freely suspended compass needle with the true north at a given place is also called as declination. You please see the resemblance between this and this. Both are same, but the way of expressions are different. So the declination at a place, the declination D at a place is defined as the angle between the north pole of a freely suspended compass needle and the true north at the given place. It is called as a declination. Well, students, you have to remember the declination changes from place to place because our earth actually is spherical. We can live on the surface of earth at any point. Wherever you are living, from that point you have to draw geographic meridian, and also you have to draw the magnetic meridian. The angle between these two is called as declination, or the angle between the north pole of freely suspended freely pivoted north pole of compass needle and the true north is also called as declination. Well, so this is one concept. Now we have to go to the next concept, dip or inclination. Well, you consider, now we are going to study about dip or inclination. You consider a freely suspended bar magnet. Here you have to notice that it always comes to rest along north and south direction. That is, a vertical plane passing through the north and south pole of you just imagine a wall here, a vertical plane passing through the north and south pole of a freely suspended bar magnet is also called as magnetic meridian. Magnetic meridian. Now we are studying about dip or inclination. So that is, you consider magnetic meridian, let it is a plane, vertical plane like this. No doubt, so this plane I am writing here. Okay, so that is this I am going to write it as magnetic north NM. Let this is magnetic south SM. Now you consider a compass needle. Surprisingly, it is found that when a compass needle is freely pivoted, it has to come to rest exactly horizontal to the floor. But it is found that the compass needle comes to rest like this. You just observe. And the angle made by the compass needle, let this is the direction of the compass needle, with the floor at a given place in magnetic meridian. This is MM. I am going to call it as a magnetic meridian. It is called as inclination. Therefore, the dip or inclination at a place is defined as the angle made by the Earth's total magnetic field with the floor. This is also floor, this is a floor. These two are parallel. Therefore, we can also call this as floor. This also we can call it as floor. Therefore, the angle made by the Earth's total magnetic field with the floor at a given place is called as inclination or dip. So, the dip at a place, it varies from place to place, and it is found that the dip at the equator, it is 0, whereas the dip at the poles, it is maximum, it is equal to 90 degrees. At the poles, it is 90 degree, at the equator, it is 0. Well, so now the thing is, you see, magnetic field, it is a vector quantity. We can find the components of this vector quantity. The component of the Earth's total magnetic field along the horizontal we are able to take. So therefore, if you take the component of this magnetic field along the horizontal, it is given by HE is equal to BE cos I. Because if you take towards the angle, it must be cos. And this is called horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Then we have to consider another one, that is vertical component of Earth's total magnetic field. This is Earth's total magnetic field. Earth's total magnetic field. So for this, you take the vertical component, it is given by ZE, it is equal to BE cos I. Okay, now our job is, we have to obtain the relationship between, so these two. Now you just observe the vectorial diagram of these two. Look here, let this is Earth's total magnetic field BE. So that is here you consider horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Let this is HE and this is ZE. You have to notice that this angle is I. You take tan I. So there is parallel vectors are equal. So ZE, this is also ZE. Then no doubt tan I, it is equal to, tan of any angle is equal to opposite by adjacent side, it is ZE divided by HE. So therefore, by knowing, so there is a ZE or HE, we can calculate I. Or if you know the value of I and HE, we can calculate ZE. HE is most important here. Okay. Now the next thing is, you apply the Pythagoras theorem. If you apply the Pythagoras theorem, directly we can write BE square is equal to ZE square plus HE square. Therefore, since they are vectors, you use the vector addition rule. Then we can directly write this as BE square is equal to ZE square plus HE square. Well, or BE, that is equal to square root of ZE square plus HE square. Well, dear students, this clearly indicates that BE is equal to square root of ZE square plus HE square. So this is Earth's total magnetic field. So there is here ZE is called vertical component, HE is called as horizontal component. I repeat, dip or inclination at a place. The dip or inclination at a place is defined as the angle made by the Earth's total magnetic field with the floor or with the horizontal in the magnetic meridian. You please remember, dip should be measured only in magnetic meridian. So it is found that the Earth's total magnetic field is not exactly along the horizontal. Earth's total magnetic field is inclined at certain angle with respect to Earth's total. So there is a horizontal of magnetic meridian. So this angle inclined by the Earth's total magnetic field with respect to the floor is called as dip or inclination. Okay, now it is indicated by I. I repeat, dip or inclination at a place, it is defined as the angle made by the Earth's total magnetic field with the floor at the given place. If the dip is 0, then so all the total magnetic field is like this. If the dip is maximum, all the total magnetic field is like this. So we know that the total magnetic field, it is a vector quantity. So we can resolve this into components, one along the horizontal, another along the vertical. The horizontal component is HE is equal to BE cos I, and the vertical component is ZE is equal to BE cos I. Therefore, the dip or inclination at a place is defined as the angle between the Earth's total magnetic field and the floor at the given point. Okay, now the relation between BE, HE and ZE, it is like this. So you just observe, this diagram is like this. So there is here, you take the components of BE. So this is HE and this is ZE, this is I. You know, tan I is equal to opposite by adjacent side. These two vectors are equal. Tan I is equal to ZE by HI. And use Pythagoras theorem. So since magnetic field is a vector quantity, we can directly write vector addition BE square equals ZE square plus HE square, or BE is equal to root of ZE square plus HE square. Well, I hope you understood this one. So there are three components. The first component is declination, second component is dip or inclination, the third component is this one, horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field in a given place. So these three, by using these three, we are able to describe Earth's magnetic field and we are able to understand Earth's magnetism. However, so what is the reason for Earth's magnetic field? The reason for Earth's magnetic field is the magnetic deposits present inside the Earth. The second one is, so the convectional current, so at the outer core of the Earth. And the third one is, you know, in ionosphere there are ions. The movement of ions is also responsible for the magnetic field. To understand Earth's magnetic field, we are having a beautiful theory. A bar magnet is assumed to be present inside the Earth such that the bar magnet's south pole lies in northern hemisphere and the north pole lies in southern hemisphere. You see this blue color, what I am writing, it is a bar magnet. Its south pole lies in the northern hemisphere and north pole lies in the southern hemisphere. And you know, outside the magnet, the field lines are outwards. That's why here what happens, you know, the field lines, they start from north pole. You just observe and terminates at a south pole for bar magnet. You please remember it is for bar magnet. But if you take magnetic north, NM, so they will start from magnetic north and ends up at, they start from that is south pole SM and so ends up at NM. Well, so the magnetic field lines, they are actually like this. You just observe, it is like this. Therefore, very easily we can understand the Earth's magnetism. A huge bar magnet is assumed to be present inside the Earth crust such that So there is the south pole of the bar magnet lies in the northern hemisphere and the north pole lies in the southern hemisphere. You see, I am going to show you the model. And here in this one, this is the northern hemisphere, this is the southern hemisphere. So you can imagine a bar magnet inside the earth. So let this pole, it is the south pole of the imaginated bar magnet lies in the northern hemisphere, and the north pole, it lies in the southern hemisphere. Now you just observe the field lines, they are starting from this pole, that is from magnetic, this axis, what I am saying, it is nothing but magnetic axis, and so this axis, what I am, so that is rotating, you please observe, this is nothing but geographic axis. This is geographic axis, and you see this is magnetic axis, and now I will remove the geographic axis to avoid the confusion. You can see the stick, this is magnetic axis. From here the field lines originate, they will go like this. They will go like this. They start from, so there is a magnetic south and ends up at magnetic north like this. Okay, well, so now this is, and due to rotation of earth also, the values of magnetic elements so changes slightly, that we can study in another concept. So today I hope the concepts what I told, they are very clear. You just remember, a bar magnet is kept inside the earth crust. It is assumption such that, so its south pole lies in the northern hemisphere and north pole lies in the southern hemisphere. The magnetic field lines of the earth, they start from magnetic south and over the surface of the earth. So they are like this, they will end up at north pole. So start from south pole of earth and ends up at north pole, that is magnetic north pole of earth like this. I hope you are having a better understanding by using this model. So thank you one and all.